Hey, there's some e-waste. That paid off. The mount's ears are not handles, the yerp fields, where the echo of your actions resounds clearer than any other place you'll find, except for where that's not true. That's a hope hall. Some used to go there every week to join hands and hope together. Not so much hope to go around these days. Got her first. This one seems to be in good spirits, despite being left here for dead. Has heard that you have a sense of compassion and trusts it's in your nature to help those in need. Asks you to do the right thing for the sake of your conscience. It's only through your inner confidence. Is grateful you chose that. You can't be good without doing good for others.
Seriously, you like the shine?
You just don't want anyone to get a good look at you.
Dark is stylish?
Lie to yourself all you like, darling.
What you do here matters to you and the world. Biohazard makes your skin crawl. There it is, the tree of life. The idea that all life is related by common descent, where the twigs are existing species and those produced in the past represent the succession of the extinct. The tree's great branches were once budding twigs, a connection between the past, present, and future. A representation of all extinct and living species with its ever-branching and beautiful ramifications. We are an evolution of those that came before. No one's going to see you coming in the dark. This is Dixie's goods. There's an outfitter and an upgrade bench dangling. Let's see. The vendor says you can browse his goods anytime during open. Says this is the go-to place if you like a good deal. Ching-a-ching! A done deal. Ah, plastic scrap like that always comes in handy. Don't look that beastie in the sears. Lupin's camp has always been there, hidden deep inside the mountains. Tread carefully here. This is Lupin's camp. It's not so dark out anymore. Wonder where we can get some ride shoes for the mount. This story needs a hero. The world needs saving. Make the most of the day. Some sharp wood scrap there. Watch for splinters. Let's see. It's a place well hidden. It's just below the above. Out of Date's impressed you made it this far, but there's still so much left to do. The end of the world is still on everyone's minds. You've beaten a path where you have the power to destroy or save everyone. Question is, what you'll do with that responsibility. He can sense that your heart beats steadily and acknowledges that the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. Thinks it's important that you remember who you are and where you came from. Someone without knowledge of their history and origin is like a tree without roots. It's important to stay grounded. You share the same fate as the tree. Out of Date says there's a time for everything. And now there's no use thinking of the past, for it's gone. Think of the present, because that's where you are. It's time to set your priorities as the one who completes things. If you continue to do good, good will follow you. If the world really does end, there won't be anywhere to run. So he's prepared for the worst, something he calls the Ark. Two sides to everything, but for him it would be devastating if you were forced to use the Ark to escape while the world crumbled. Out of Date says there's no clear record of the chain of events that changed the course of history and brought the world to its knees. He's found evidence on the Ark, records of a crisis, decades of contamination that permeated the ground and broke its inner core. The contamination disrupted what we now know as key energy, the life force that runs through all things, living and inanimate. He's been told the blight affected everything at a genetic level and turned our perception of normality on its head. It was only those that changed that avoided extinction, proving that the possibility for survival and renewal was real. He understands you are curious about the ship at the foot of the tree. He says it surfaced when the oil broke through the ground. The Ark predates the back-in days, and now, after years of study of the manuals he found inside, he believes he's figured the ship out. The Ark has room for 4 more, and he trusts you'll apply wisdom to your compassion and choose whom to save if the world comes to end. He'll keep the seats open, and you are free to invite up to 4 others to join you in the Ark in the event of a cataclysm. Out of Date says that from what he's heard, you've been busy. He says he appreciates what you've done so far, but unfortunately he's got urgent news from his friend Nako in the east. Out of Date says that even though he's unsure about your intentions, he hopes you'll support Nako. He says he'll point you in the right direction, but finding Nako and making sure she gets what she needs is up to you. That doesn't sound good. Out of Date was spot on. The hoof puff needs to be stopped. Out of Date says that Nako is worried now that the Eastern World Eater is stepping up its activity. He explains that Nako keeps a fabled steed that she has planned to ride out to the World Eater, but needs help to get it prepared. Out of Date suggests that you should head east as fast as possible and see what you can do to help. He wonders what's on your mind. Understands you have things to do. The rain is clean now, but wait till it gets to the goo. You can never have too much scrap, plastic or otherwise. That's the vroomer. Go, beastie, go. The stars never give enough light. A crossway. This means you have a choice to make. Which way? Could this thing steer itself? Wheel the control box handles to buzz the wire. Wired up and ready to go. That's hard to come by. Fate is funny that way, but it won't always make you laugh. Got just enough slack in the line. bolted shut. That's a motored blind box dispenser. These auto markets were quite... You shouldn't be surprised if you stumble on more of these. It's an electro panel, a closed loop that pushes volty spark. Flick the switches in order to greenlight the current and activate the electrons in the panel. Good. The loop is electrified enough to spark. A biohazard like that can make you real sick. This is turning out to be quite an expedition. That's hard to come by. It's so active out here with the light. Shopkeeper claims you won't be able to find... Wants you to take your time as they're open for another couple of hours. Fair enough, all around. This region is known as the Knupstones. You can't find a harder place in the world. Slice and dice. Watch it. Ready to take on the world. This is an epic already. How it ends is up to you. Ah, the Gnote pen. Nako never leaves this place. She's always put the living things first. Let's see. Nooks isn't an easy language, but at least it's manageable. She says she is so happy to see you again. She wonders if you remember her. She's Nako. She let you ride her Majut when you were a kid. Nako remembers you used to chase around with so much energy and is glad to see you haven't lost any of that spark. But that's all long gone now, though. Memories show us where we've been, not where we're going. Believes everyone needs direction in this broken world. Your only hope is that you'll end up in a good place once all this is over. Nako remembers those days too, but she never lets herself wallow in them, no matter how tempting that can be. She sees you're back to buck with Lupin. Can't see how there's any way to avoid that now. Not for long, at least. She says the horrors of your younger days were enough to ruin anyone, but not you. You've got all that cheer about you still. Nako says history is like the trail you've been on. You can walk back down it any time you... Then you are stronger than her. She can't help wanting Lupin to pay for what he did to her Gnotes, despite the fact it's against her nature.
Love to see you shine on.
No one likes Perky. Perky's so uncool.
The knight may be cool, but you sure ain't.
I am too cool.
If you have to tell people you're cool, you're not.
Asks how many paths you've wandered in the world, and if you ever wonder about what might have changed if you'd taken different ones. You can't do everything you want, can't go everywhere, can't see everything, only what you can. So happy the world is going to live, would have been crushed to see all the Gnotes die with it. Likes that you stood up for the world and spurred your way toward helping it out. Glad you saw the light with the myriad. They always bring a sparkliness to any day, and sometimes the nights do. Says that's only for a little while, but let's not speak of that now. She has an idea where the Majut might have gone, as there's no other place it likes as much as its own corner of the open wild. She's even named it the Majut Meadow.
Kamonu.
The Majut will recognize the scent you've attracted while being here, so it'll probably trust you enough to follow you.
Taifanana numa.
You should lead the Majut back here when you find it. It's going to take time to get it calm enough to be able to ride out to the World Eater.
Kanamunta.
She's sad that something as wild as the hoof puff can't be tamed, but has to come to terms with the fact that you need to stop it.
Amun.